Oh hey guys, and welcome back. I'm very excited and scared for this video. I am going to be chopping up my Hoyas, propagating as per usual. Y'all know that I love chopping up my plants. We got the Hoya Serpens silver. We have the Hoya Matilde variegated. We have the Lacunosa super silver, I think, and the Argentine Princess. I'm a little worried because I did spray these with the horticultural oil. Oil is hydrophobic, so I don't know how this is gonna go. And should I be waiting maybe like longer before I chop these? Probably. I will be keeping the main plant that I take the cuttings from, you know, just in case. And yeah, I don't know. I'm really happy. I'm putting them all in pon. Again, this is kind of the beginning of putting more plants in semi-hydroponic kind of medias. So I'm going to probably get a lot more leca soon. I think I'm going to swing back into that direction. With a few exceptions, I'll probably have my anthuriums in tree fern, kind of like a 50-50 between tree fern and pon. Anyhow, I'm getting sidetracked. This is a Hoya video. Okay, so this is the Hoya Serpens silver. I'm very happy with the specimen. I was cutting all the parts of the Hoya where it wasn't super silver. And I think, of course, there are still some branches that are, you know, not super silver, but for the most part, like, especially down here, you get a lot of that. One of my favorite Hoyas. I don't know, it's just so special. I already did this before. If y'all remember. Was it 2 months ago? I also sprayed these guys, but look at all these beauties. So they did take a little bit to root and push out new growth. Oh. The reservoir is dripping on the floor. Where's my towel? But I want to replicate this. So I'm basically going to do the same thing I did with this planter. Lechuza upon cuttings with about 1 or 2 leaves. And then I am going to probably put cling wrap on top. I think I did that with this one in the beginning. It is drier during the winters in here and it's colder. I just kind of want to give it the best chance. It was different when it was the summertime because it is more humid. I'm also going on a trip in 5 days, and so I don't want during the 9-10 days I'm gone any dryness in the substrate. For y'all that are new to propagating, you should always keep your fresh cuttings always wet, always wet. So you'll see that once I've potted up the Hoyas, I'm gonna put the reservoir all the way to the top to ensure that it stays super wet. Am I afraid of like rot and like fungal stuff, especially because I did spray these with oil? Should I even put the cling wrap? Do you know what? We just have to do it. We have to do it. Okay. Oh, this one, everyone. Okay. Start my collection. It's overblown. Whoa. Are you kidding? Hoya Matilde inner variegated. These bottom leaves here, super variegated. The stem, super red, if you can see that. I think you can see it better here. There we go. Super red stem, showing that in that stem, it's probably gonna push out variegation to some degree at least. Oh my God, I can't get over this Hoya. Are you kidding me? So I'm probably gonna cut it all the way back to like maybe here. And so all of these, this is what I do. This is, oh my God, it's dark. This is what I do. I mean, this is a beautiful plant as is. Let me just say it. Oh, I mean, this is a beautiful plant as is, okay? I do get that. However, to achieve a full planter look, you do need to chop them and have multiple plants in a planter. So we're gonna do that. The next Hoya. Hoya Lacunosa Super Silver has been a little MIA. I actually am so impressed with this vine. Like, it is super long. Look at this. Super long, it is waving. The consistent silver is what I'm obsessed with. Again, I would love a full planter. Last but not least, my Argentine Princess. Now, this was a very difficult plant to spray. Very, very, very difficult. You obviously need to get every single part. You need to do the stems, and because it's the trellis, I had to kind of like spray all over, make sure there was full coverage. It did take a lot of time. And so partly, I'm cutting this just in case a lot of the oil went to the substrate. Again, if you have oil, it kind of competes with the plant's roots when it comes to space and like takes away the oxygenation. Again, oil will take those air pockets away and then your plant's roots will rot. Even though this Hoya is just so beautiful variegation wise, I just have to get rid of it. Not get rid of it, cut it. Oh my god. Wow, look at these Hoyas. Are you kidding? I think I want to start with the silver Serpens first. So let's take these away. How exciting. Oh my god, this is my happy place. Okay, let's start off cutting these beautiful vines. Now, there are some that I'm not going to use. I think I'm just going to start cutting. There's this vine that I'm probably going to cut all the way back. And so let's begin. Again, oh my god, it's starting off bad. You know, I'm looking in the viewfinder. I think these vines kind of look small that they're not going to be in focus, so I'm just going to try to hurry. Okay, so keeping 2 leaves, keeping this, I think it's upside down. Is it? I have no idea. No, this is the stem. Keeping that much, again, your Hoya is going to root from anywhere in the stem. And so we got a few cuttings over here already, which is fantastic. We're just going to keep going, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do afterwards. Y'all might be asking, why am I doing this since you already have that planter that I showed in the beginning of the video? I do this with plants I'm obsessed with. Y'all know that I have so many Matilde splashes. I just have to keep going. Nothing has changed when it comes to my views about growing plants and just formulating opinions about them. When you look at these planters and you're watching them grow, you're looking at many, many, many plants. And that's why I feel so strongly about Mathilde, and I feel like I can speak my opinion just loud and proud about the care for it because I've propagated and grown it successfully. And so with this, you do strengthen your knowledge. See, this is the one where I'm not sure. I think I might just keep this one. Yeah, that one's like mixed a little bit. Okay, I am cutting any peduncles. You know, surprisingly, Serpens is one of the only Hoyas, even though I've grown my green one, it has not bloomed for me at all. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. And then this one's not that silver. Okay, we're gonna keep this Serpens the way it is. I thought I was gonna cut more actually. I think that's it for now. So we're left, I'm not gonna do this one. We're left with this corner over here. I think this is the perfect amount for the planter that I wanna use. I am using, let's just put that here. And I know it's blown out. I'm using these planters. Basket, it inserts into here, and then I just need to fix the wick. Just thread it through that hole. And I'm just tying the knots and then threading it through. I do think either closed systems or self-watering planters would be best when it comes to propagations. You got to keep that environment moist, and any moment of dryness in the substrate, the cuttings won't survive. I am using the last of my pon for these Hoyas, and then we'll just see what happens afterwards. Okay, actually, yeah, let's do, I think that's fine. So again, the strategy that I always do, I put the water level really high. Reason being, if by chance the substrate around, and I know pon does keep the moisture pretty wet consistently, that's why I'm choosing it. So really this is kind of like water propagating. There's some stems that like I can't, because the leaves are going another way. I'm just kind of resting them at the top. Hopefully it's okay. Boom. Oh my god, this is so cute. My Serpens currently, you can see that it is in a tree fern mix. I've been very vocal about how I don't like some of my Hoyas in this tree fern mix. I think I didn't put that much chunk in it. But saying that, I think this Serpens, out of all the Hoyas, has really done the best in this tree fern mix because it's like super dense, it's super wet. I do still believe with my experience with the green one that I had 3 separate full plants, that it does like super wet conditions. And okay, I think I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna try that method where I just fill the whole reservoir all the way to the top, so then the pieces of pon do separate from each other, making it easier to push the cuttings in, and then when you're through, you just need to lift the planter and then all the pieces will then settle around the cutting. I do really like that strategy. I thought I was gonna be able to push them easily, but every time I push one in, another one comes out. Let's just take these out. And like this method I saw on social media. Okay, we are back, and I don't know if you can see, but the water is to the top. These cuttings are so small that the cuttings are floating. Maybe I need to get rid of some of the water. Let's just pour some into here. I think that might be better. No, despite this strategy, some of the stems are not going in. We're just gonna be happy with that. Maybe if I tip it, get that separation there. Because the goal is, with these thin stems, you don't want to push them so hard that the stem bends, and at that point it's vulnerable. Okay, and then hold it there and go like that. See, it's more difficult when they have two leaves, in my opinion. Sometimes I like to cut one leaf, but I think we might keep both this time. But do you see, like, for example, I cut a leaf off. You can lay them beautifully, unlike these ones. Why don't we do that? I never really want to do this, but it does the trick. Famous last words. Now, I have had a few situations in the past where you do this, and then if there was already like a cut or a little bit of tearing in the small little short petiole to the leaf and the leaf falls off, then the cutting usually doesn't make it. So I think I am taking a risk by doing this, but that's just my style. Any Wicked fans here? I saw For Good, and it was good. I really thought that I was gonna cry during For Good, the singing of For Good at the end. Honestly, I think it was because of my attachment to the Idina Menzel and the Kristen Chenoweth version. Again, I like Cynthia Erivo's voice a lot. Like her, specifically, in the color purple, singing I'm Here, like, I don't think anyone can beat that. That is outstanding. But I really like Adina's more deeper tones when she sings. That is one thing that I guess is more of a personal preference. Yeah, it was still good. I just don't know what else to talk about because this is taking longer than I thought. I've heard it said that people come into our lives for a reason, bringing something we must learn. We are made to those who help us most to grow if we let them, and we'll help them in return. Well, I don't know if I believe that's true. I know you have rewritten mine because I knew you. Okay, everyone, like, I tried my best. We'll see if I get the same luck that I had with the other one that I showed you in the beginning of the video. Okay. Alrighty. I'm so nervous to cut this, but I think I have to. I have to. Like, look at all the red stems. The variegation is so gorgeous down here. I never keep these ends. Wait. It's overlapping here. I never keep these ends the way they are. Because when you feel the leaves here, it's just gonna be a lost cause. So I'm cutting right here. Lost cause meaning the cell walls haven't fully strengthened enough. Obviously, those leaves still need to, just needs to put more energy input into those pieces of the plant. And when it doesn't have a root system, like when you're cutting it, it just stresses it out. So I don't normally keep them. And I think we're gonna do the same thing where I get rid of one leaf. Oh my God. You notice over here, I know it's a totally different part of the node. It's more green when you like compare it to lower down. So I think by keeping the more balanced, more variegated ones here, there's a chance there's going to be branches from the variegated parts, thus giving us a more variegated plant. Can we take in this vine 1 second? Look at this. I mean, just so beautiful. You know, I think in the new year, I'm gonna seriously consider that silver one that has stable variegation. I think I'm gonna heavily consider that one because that one is just stunning. Like absolutely stunning. Okay, this is the tough decision because there's just green here. I think I might keep it like this. Do you see? So the variegation actually got better as the plant grew. I think I was saying that I was still obsessed with this part, like the more green, but variegation wise, just to keep it, I think I'm just gonna leave it like that. I left these two over here. There is a new growth point. Another reason why like I was okay cutting it because there's a new growth point. And wow, look at these roots. Do you see? Okay, this is disgusting. Do you see? Where to show? Oh, I'm making a mess now. Oh, I'm making a mess. Not gonna get my hopes up, but I think this will be easier just because the stems are thicker. Oh my god, it's so much easier. Wow. This is why I like you, Mathilde. Oh, I'm so excited. I get to finally like chop this plant. How crazy. I'm like already halfway through. So much easier. I know I've done this with my splashy Matilde already so many times, but just doing it with a different Matilde variety, it just makes me so happy. Matilde is so hardy and it's so quick to grow. And so I'm hoping that, you know, I get the same success. I think I will. Not to sound like, well, okay, now that I put that energy into the universe, I'm not, it's not going to be successful. That took like a quarter of the time. It's because the stems are thicker. Oh, hold on. This one is kind of not doing its thing. Come on. Okay, look at that. How pretty. I always find that if you're struggling with any kind of plant, water is the best to get those initial roots. Afterwards, having that, you could try a different substrate moving forward from that. So, wow. Wow, guys. So exciting. Okay, Lacunosa, super silver, so pretty. It's mainly going to be this vine that I chopped down because there's new growth on some other parts that I kind of don't want to touch. So it's just going to be this vine. Okay, the stem is pretty thick now that I look at it, which is great. I might keep both leaves just because I feel like there's going to be less cuttings than the other two. And so I think there's going to be space. I think that's good. So we're left with this beauty, patootie, hello. Ooh, the silver is so pretty. Yeah, these stems are so thick. I think I'm gonna be able to keep both leaves on most of them. Okay, how's this looking? Hey, look at that. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Okay. For the Argentine Princess, I obviously need to change the angle because it's taller. This ring light is so unstable right now. Fiero, Fiero. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably the most scared for this one. I didn't mention before, but when I was spraying it and trying to get the full coverage, I was just kind of just like feeling to see if every single part had been covered by the oil. Even like a brief kind of like, you know, graze over the leaf would just fall off. And I'm thinking there, because I can see it right here, I think the mites really took hold of the petiole. I said I wouldn't overthink this, so I'm just gonna quickly just do it. And I think I'll show you, like, I'm so worried about this one. You know, now that I look at everything, I'm like really not hopeful just so unfortunate. Okay, tell me if it's just me. I need to know if it's just me. But do you see how the coloration, the petioles are more brown? I don't know if that's a normal thing. I think more than ever, I want to try to keep both leaves because I don't trust what I'm seeing. This Hoya, you can't see it as much as the other Hoyas that were heavily infested, but this is one of them. And then am I just gonna keep it like this? Is this it? Okay, I think that's it for now. Cause, you know, I forgot to look at the stem as I was cutting. And now we're getting into like a more mixed stem. So I don't know if the rest is gonna push out anything variegated. That's the mama at the end of the day. Let's get the cuttings into a planter. Now, I don't know if I wanna use the same planters. Do you know what? I am. I'm gonna do it. Oh my god, guys, my back hurts because when the ring light was like right here, it was literally like right here. I couldn't go like that. So like I was kind of going like this, but also trying to look. I'm really gonna try to fit them all because, to be quite honest, just based on my assessment, I don't really see more than half of these surviving. Let's make a prediction. I think, let's say 50%. I think 50% of these cuttings are gonna make it. So I'm kind of like overdoing it, if you know what I mean, because once those ones don't make it, the planter will have more space. That sounds horrible. Okay guys, this is the prettiest one. I don't know if it's gonna show. It's the prettiest one. A part of me just wants to put this in its own separate one because it's so pretty. Should I do that? Truly, this is favoritism right over here. Some of these are so hard to push in. Oh my god. God. Like for no reason. Why is it so hard? Yeah, see, this is what I was talking about. There's all that damage here. And then it continued onto the petiole. It's so hard to show. But it did continue. Pushing it just a little bit, it just snapped it. This is one that I was like, okay, I don't think it's gonna make it, so. Whoops. So, here it is, guys. Oop. Of course, everything's spelling. Okay. Few things I want to mention. I mean, this is more for people, well, it could be a reminder for people who want to do this again, who already heard me saying this in previous videos. Keeping the water level high, that is to facilitate new root growth. Roots need moistness, they need wetness, and especially if they're in a vulnerable state, not having any roots, they need that area to, you know, stay moist. The part where you cut the plant, it's basically an opening, so it can hydrate the cutting a little tiny bit. Like obviously it doesn't replace roots, it doesn't work the same way, but I find that when you have a dehydrated cutting, it does make a difference having just water throughout. Anyways, I don't use any type, well these days I don't use any type of nutrients or additives. I just use plain tap water, and then the biggest thing is have them under grow light. I would say minimum 1,000 foot candles. My lights are on, my grow lights are on for 11 hours, and so for a visual, if the plant's here, the grow light's right here. I usually, when it comes to cuttings, I like to do 2,000 foot candles when it comes to Hoya cuttings. And so that's how they're gonna live right now. It's gonna be interesting because it's rather cold in here. I don't really turn my heat on that much. I know in the past like 4 or 5 years of collecting plants, every time I've done this during the winter time, sometimes the cuttings, you know, plants know during the, like what the seasons are, and they tend to stall a little bit. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed and hopefully they do okay. But yeah, how exciting. Wasn't this exciting? I just love cutting up my plants. I really, really do. And yeah, I guess that's gonna bring us to the end. Thank you guys so much for watching and joining me for this Wax Plant Wednesday video. I know it's been a while. I really do appreciate all the people that are new here. Hello, my name is Kevin, if you're new. And again, thank you so much for watching to the very end. Okay, I will see you in the next one.